Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour, right here every Saturday, typically at 7 p.m. on WLS AM 890. But you can also listen to all of our episodes at donleyauctions.com/radio. We're located just 45 minutes northwest of O'Hare on I-90. And you know what? We have live auctions at least once a month. But if you go to our website at donleyauctions.com, you'll be able to see the entire calendar. Do you have any consignments for an upcoming auction? Give us a call at 815-923-7000. Hi, I'm Susan. I'm here with Mike and Randy. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Susan.
What's been happening this week?
Mike and I have been all over the place in New York.
I heard.
Where were we in New York?
Brooklyn,
in Brooklyn,
Flatbush area of Brooklyn.
Interesting neighborhood, to say the least.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing there?
Well, we were certainly consigning a really fabulous collection. At this point, we want to talk about it?
No, right now we can't.
Little too early. We do have all the merchandise back home, Susan, but it's a little too early to tell what it is because we want to keep this under wraps.
It's going to be a surprise.
Yes, it is, and it's
that
it's
good.
a doozy. It is.
Yeah,
it's a great collection, and ladies and gentlemen, obviously we pick up merchandise for auction. If you have any items that you'd like to talk to us about, if you've got a single antique that you think is auction worthy, or if you have an entire collection, like what we just went out to New York for, a big collection of various antiques, we're always looking for more auction items, including firearms and ammo, militaria, uniforms, weapons of all kinds from World War I, World War II, well, all the way back to the Civil War.
Oh, yeah, definitely do Civil War. Big on Civil War.
Mike has been doing our Civil War auctions, and boy, you've had some unbelievable results with very high prices paid for Civil War.
Yes, but there weren't just the common type of things. I mean, there was diaries and personalities involved and things like that too. So,
but I saw one pistol you sold for like $45,000.
Well, that was a Lamat. Those are expensive pistols.
Yeah. And a flag you sold for over $40,000.
Yeah, there was a Confederate flag, but that was a pretty important flag. So
That's all about the provenance, isn't it?
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, common things like rifles and pistols and patch boxes and stuff.
So
they're very common.
That was a quick pause in my list here as I'm just going down the list of items we're looking for. We're always looking for cars, antique cars, whether it be all the way from the 00s to the teens, the 20s, 30s, right, and into muscle cars, right? Yep. That's where the serious
muscle cars would be great. Yep.
And all kinds of vehicles, though, whether they be motorcycles and even early snowmobiles.
I usually just say anything with wheels, but we've also had sailboats, and we've also had little pedal cars.
And airplanes.
And airplanes, yeah.
Sure.
Things with wings or wheels. How about that?
Always looking for biplanes, folks, and you could have one taken apart in an old garage in Chicago somewhere. Something from Meigs Field or something back in the day.
Oh, you guys would love to hear that phone call.
Oh,
you'd be out there in a second.
But so many things also we're looking for, like signs, anything in vintage signs. And most people, when they call us with little tin signs that are maybe 1 foot square or something.
Well, and reproduction signs that you can buy anywhere. We don't want that kind of stuff, right? We want the big good stuff.
But, we also go on the large scale. What's some of the biggest signs we've done, Mike?
We've done Chicago Joe's, which was a big, huge sign. We've done Orange Gardens.
Those are neons.
Which were porcelain neons.
Like the neon signs,
big commercial signs from in front of buildings. I mean, we've taken signs down that are 30 foot across, 30 foot tall. I mean, big, huge signs. We'll take them down. That's not an issue for us.
I remember I saw one in Louisville on the side of a building and just took a picture to show it to you, and you said you need to go in that building right now, give him your business card, see if we can get it down, check to see how it's attached to the building, get back to me, I'll send a truck.
And that brings up a good point too. Doesn't matter where these things are located, right, folks. We're looking for items for auction, and bars, back bars out of old saloons and everything. Mike and I have gotten into some of the wildest locations around the city of Chicago and suburbs where an old bar or saloon actually gets turned into an apartment rental, and they never took the bar and back bar out of it. Mike and I'll go into these buildings, and sometimes they've been converted into a home, and they still have a big old bar and back bar.
Yeah, there's
inside.
laundry pile up on the bar and stuff.
Well, how about the Havermill Pharmacy drugstore bar that we had several years ago? So not just bars and back bars, but something like that.
The
entire interior, yeah.
Wasn't that a display?
Unbelievable. From the 1880s, 1890s.
1880s,
yeah.
Yeah, 1880s, and all the cabinetry that came out of this phenomenal old drugstore. The fact that it stayed intact all these years was really remarkable.
The old soda fountain, everything.
And it wasn't all that long ago, Mike, that they were in the city of Chicago. A building was being torn down. It had been claimed by the city. The city was taking over the property, and the interior of it had been an old grocery store, and all the cabinets and everything were still intact, and the interior was really quite remarkable.
Well, the story of that wasn't the man had gone to the 33 World's Fair and came home and closed his grocery store up?
Absolutely. It had been closed up since 1933. I remember that the very scenario. And as we were pulling all the cabinetry out of it and everything, you can't imagine how many of the old groceries and advertising were still intact, that had been never opened, never used.
Yep. Bags of coffee and just, different stuff, yeah.
That's neat. Well, my favorite, of course, was the El Capone bar, which we still get to visit from time to time.
That's right, in St. Charles,
In St.
Illinois.
Charles at the Arcata Theater, that El Capone bar that's in the rock and ravioli section of the Arcata Theater, they bought that from us.
They certainly did, and I will tell you, folks, everybody that calls Mike and I with a bar comes from where, Mike?
Oh, Al Capone was here. Yeah, he
El
stood at
Capone
this
was
bar.
here, yeah.
All right.
Al Capone owned this bar.
He did drink a lot, so you never know.
But however, this one that is in St. Charles is the real deal. It came with provenance, and one thing that we stress on our show all the time is the history and the provenance, or the proof, so to speak, of where things came from. So there's this bar. If you really want to see an Al Capone bar, the real deal, go right to St. Charles.
Go to the Arcata and tell Ron Onesti we said hi.
Yeah, there you go. And so what else might we be looking for, Mike?
Anything coin op, slot machines, jukeboxes, arcade games, anything that took a coin. Vending machines, early vending machines are good. Cigarette machines, things like that.
I have a question about some of those more modern jukeboxes where, I guess modern would be CDs in them. Are those still valuable today?
Actually, those are more sought after than the
We
the
all
older
still have CDs.
Yeah, but it was 78 RPMs, nobody
have
just
those
as
records anymore.
Only
pure
a real collector wants those.
Yeah.
one.
So
But
all of those are
the newer
still-
ones that look old but play CDs. Those are the ones that are in high demand right now and bringing more than the originals actually.
No kidding. Great. Jukeboxes. We love it.
And when we use the word coin op, obviously that means coin operated devices of all different kinds. But since we're saying the word coin, coins themselves are a big deal here at Donley Auctions. And we have a coin expert. But coins and currency, oh my goodness, do we get the money for that? And Ryan is the first to say all the time, an auction is really the way to sell your coins and currency.
The only way, yeah.
Because our job is to get you the most money for items. We're only taking a small percentage of what we sell your items for. So our job to you is to try to get you the most money for items, not to buy it as cheap as we can. Kind of just the opposite.
Right. When you take it into a store, or an antique store or a coin store or something, their job is to buy it as cheaply as possible from you, because that's how they make their money.
And actually, Ryan, our coin expert, used to work at one of the bigger coin shops in the city, and he said he was routinely bonused out. He would get bonus money for how cheap he could buy items, for the coin store. And we get that. I mean, every business has a different business model as to how you make money. But the reality is, if you're trying to achieve the highest amount for you or your family or your estate, sell at auction, because we are selling worldwide.
And Ryan was just telling us this morning that he's got some great currency that he has to get graded. Is that what they call that? They get it graded.
Yeah.
So he's looking to add some more to that collection, and we're going to hold a coins and currency auction in December of this year before Christmas. So now is the perfect time to consign with us, and all you have to do is send us an email to consign@donleyauctions.com, or better yet, give us a call, 815-923-7000.
And I would like to point out that Donley is spelled Donley. There's no double L's or double
Yeah,
N's.
we went to the wedding over the weekend. They spelled our name wrong. Whoopsie.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
It's a common mistake.
Common mistake for sure. So Donley. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We'll be right back. Do you have a collection of coins gathering dust? Hi, I'm Susan with Donley Auctions, and we're looking for gold and silver. Let's turn your collection into cash. Call us today at 815-923-7000. Donley Auctions, always looking for quality consignments. Thanks for sticking with us during that break. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour every Saturday right here on WLS 890 AM.
So how about toys, Mike? What's the story? We're always looking for toy collections, are we not?
That's correct. And some of the toys you may not think are valuable are the actually more recent toys for action figures. You take Star Wars toys, the things that are only 25, 30 years old now are bringing great money. Condition is always everything. It has to be with its original packaging and such. If the toy's really beat to death, unless it's an extremely rare example.
But action figures from the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Any of that
Good
stuff.
to know.
The early Power Rangers, He-Man, the Ninja Turtle stuff. I mean,
wow.
the cards,
Good.
the trading cards for the Ninja Turtles and the Power Rangers and the
Pokemon
Pokemon.
Cards.
And I mean, it's crazy what some of that stuff's bringing
That's great.
already.
Yeah, we're going to do a toy auction, too, coming up,
And
hopefully in October.
Ding, 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 ding. When you mention cards, of course, that brings up sports memorabilia.
Sports memorabilia.
Oh, my
Folks,
goodness, ladies and
our favorite
gentlemen.
topic right now.
Wow. Sports memorabilia is red hot on the auction market. Holy smokes. If you've got sports memorabilia, you definitely want to give us a call.
815-923-7000. But what we do need to see with sports memorabilia is a photo. So send us the email to consign@donleyauctions.com with a photo, and it would be helpful to know where you are located.
And we'll certainly give you a free evaluation. I want to point that out, free evaluation. Sometimes people are afraid to call us because they're thinking, well, what's this going to cost me?
Right.
Even when we come out, I can't tell you how many times people say, oh, I'd love to have you come out, but I really don't think I can afford that. Well, no, there's no cost for us
And
to
no
come out.
obligation.
Absolutely
No
not.
obligation.
We're more than happy to give you our opinions as to what your items are worth or collections. Easiest way, though, is to always start with a photograph emailed to us.
That's right, and we get it to Ryan right away. But I'm excited because the sports memorabilia auction with some of those great items we talked about before coming up in October on Saturday. So that would be the 25th, October 25th, all day sports memorabilia and some really, really great collectible items.
Now, Ryan, the last time he was on, he was also talking about the fact that we do so much in vintage jewelry because of the metal, the gold,
yeah.
And silver and so on and so forth. And he was saying, sadly, what he keeps hearing from people is, they had all their jewelry was broken, and they threw it away. Instead of at least at the bare minimum turning it in for scrap. But broken jewelry very often still has a value much higher than scrap because of very often it's designer jewelry, has names associated with it. So even though it may be broken, it can be repaired or even sold as broken jewelry for way more than scrap value.
It's funny. I was watching Antiques Roadshow last night, and they had on PBS on Channel 11, I think, and they had a woman on there who had brought in some brooch, And it wasn't an enamel brooch. It was a pretty brooch, but it was by some famous designer. And she'd bought it at a garage sale for $5. They valued it at over $5,000.
Oh, my
so
gosh.
you know, people just don't know.
They don't know. That's why you got to ask us. Call us and email us.
I can't even believe you're saying that, because I also watch the Roadshow. And it's always fun for me to see how accurate I think their appraisals are, and they do pretty darn good.
Yep.
I mean, they do. But what I hear repeatedly is oh, I bought it at a sale, I bought it at a garage sale, I bought it at a house sale and everything. And they pay literally nothing for it. And what's the advice that the Roadshow people always give these people? At auction, it would bring.
Right.
And they always give auction a value, which only proves if you want to sell cheap, sell it at a garage sale or a house sale or anything. But if you want to sell high,
Get the most money you can.
sell it at auction.
Why not go where there's thousands of people looking at it?
And we do have thousands of people, folks. We are selling stuff all over the world. Although we have a live auction, we're also selling online.
Online on multiple different bidding platforms, because there are certain ones that people just like more than others. So we're on a lot of them, and they email you directly when something comes up for auction that you're looking for. So
Always
it's just
that
a
little
great way to keep an eye out.
And,
Yeah.
and I always love when we have multiple phone bids on something, because when somebody is on a phone bid, they do not want to lose that. You know, they're a serious buyer when
right?
they're a phone bidder, and we'll have 2 or 3 people on phones, and the people on the phones will just be bidding back and forth against each other.
Yeah.
It's so great
It's
to
a lot
see.
of fun.
I mean, we've had times where we're even cheering and screaming because of the way the prices are going up.
That's right.
We're happy for the people, and we're happy for ourselves, because again, we've done what we set out to do: make the client money, because that's how we make our money.
Make the most money we can. That's
You know,
correct.
Mike, you're so spot on when you're reminding everybody out there. The way the auction works, ladies and gentlemen, is for us to make you money. We're charging you a commission, a small commission on items that we're selling for you. So our job for us to make money is to make you money. The more we make for you, the more we make for ourselves. And we are pushing and pushing with social media, with advertising, with promotion, with every way we can. Our job is to try to get top dollar for all these items.
We have to research an item sometimes, because every once in a while, as smart as we are, we don't know everything there is about an item too, and we find that out because it's every little bit we can help to make that item bring the money it needs.
There's one other category I want to touch on, because someone had asked from our last radio show. I heard you guys say something about radios on the radio. So can you tell us a little bit about what we're looking for in the radio category? Antique vintage radios. I know we have some that I talked about that have that Bluetooth connection in them. They're fully restored. Those consoles, those are beautiful. But I think she wanted a little bit more information on what kind of radios do we want to put in auction.
Well, we're always looking for, in many, many cases, the earlier the better. I mean, some really early, what we refer to as breadboard sets, which is no more than a piece of wood with tubes on the top of it. Back in the early days, those are referred to as breadboard sets. There's so many different styles of radios, though. Zeniths are still one of the number one selling radios. Zeniths with what's referred to as a tuning eye, as you would try to tune in your stations back in the day. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't used to just press a button. You would tune in a station with dials, and there would be a little glass eye that when it turned green, you knew that your station was tuned in as good as it was going to get at that period of time. But Zenith radios do very well, but there's so many different radios that can be rare, like character radios.
Character radios for showing people, plastic radios or Bakelite generally with characters like Popeye on it or Charlie McCarthy. They were sold to children.
So you said Bakelite. Is that the same as Catalin? Because I've seen Catalin radios are still pretty valuable.
Catalin was a brand of a radio.
It's a brand of a radio.
And-
So
and they were
Bakelite is the
in the
material.
colored Bakelite plastics. Catalan, Fata were some of the more popular names, but those colored plastic radios, yes, Susan, do extremely well. It's not at all unusual for one of those radios to get a pre-auction estimate of, maybe $500 to $700, but end up selling for $4,500
Really?
when you get competitive bidding going. Some of those plastic radios just do tremendous.
Wow. So
What's,
hopefully,
what's a blue mirror radio? Who made that one?
Spartan.
The Spartan radio, yeah.
okay.
Spartan radios are good, but I just want to tell a quick Catalan story, and that is the last one that I ever actually bought myself. I bought right in Harvard, Illinois, at a sale. There was a going out of business sale, and upstairs in the store, there's this radio sitting there, and it's priced at $10. And I'm in disbelief. At first, I'm thinking I'm getting punked because, nobody's going to sell this radio for $10, right? And I came downstairs with it, and I said, "Are you sure the price on this?" And he said, "Yeah, why?" And I said, "Well, I'll take it, thank you." And I bought it, and at auction, it brought $2,500. That was the
Nice.
last Catalan I bought, and sure as heck, bought it at a sale.
well, let's fast forward a little bit. What about stereo components and speakers and Harman and Kardon, stuff that I had growing up
Well,
in the
that-
80s?
that-
What's that
Well,
going
even
for?
the late 60s and early 70s, we had the Japanese invasion of stereo equipment, electronics into the United States. And some of that early stuff just brings crazy, crazy money.
think
By
it's
early
still
stuff, Mike, we're
collectible.
not talking the teens and 20s. You're talking 80s.
Well, starting in the
70s?
in the late 60s,
Okay.
into the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, by the 80s, yeah, I mean the quality had gone down. There was still high end stuff like Bang & Olufsen and such, but some of the early stuff, the Sansui and the Harman Kardon and such, Fisher,
Yeah.
all the early stereo stuff that brings
That's great.
unbelievable
I wish
money.
I still had mine. I mean, we didn't even think about it then. It's all gone. The whole stereo cabinet and the speakers and
But you just
the
made
turntable, everything. Is,
you just
don't
made
have
a
anymore.
perfect point, Susan, and that is we keep telling people all the time, about collecting and the age of collecting and everything. And here, you yourself probably would never buy an antique radio from the teens or the 20s. But what you'd like to
Right.
buy is one that you remember
Yes.
back from
A
what
nice
era?
turntable
From the 80s?
80s, yeah. A
There you go.
turntable, a cassette
There you go.
tape deck, that whole thing.
And that's what people are buying today. People are buying what they remember. So something they can relate to that means something to them. Only serious collectors are buying the stuff that we still refer to as antiques, from the turn of the century, from the 00s on through the 20s. I mean, those are serious antiques collectors. That's not somebody who wants to buy part of their memories
Right.
back, So, what else are we looking for, guys?
Well, just before we finish on radios, I just want to say too, don't discount transistor radios, early transistor
Oh, yeah.
radios
Remember
too.
that great collection we had
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah,
years ago?
yeah,
That
they
wasn't that long
No,
ago.
it came out-
Those were
came-
fabulous.
Came out of Florida. In fact, we ended
Yeah.
up doing a whole poster, remember, of just when you saw them all together. Remember how
I remember that.
And those are
Wonderful
the things
poster.
you can still go and buy for $5 and $10 at garage sales. And you start amassing a nice little collection of them, and there's
That's a good
transistor
point.
radios that are bringing $400 or $500. From
Wow. Yeah, and you pick it up at $1 or $2 at a garage sale. Amazing. But as long as we're still on radios, you did mention Spartan with the blue mirrored radios. Again, very expensive. If you see a shiny blue mirror on a radio, it belonged that way. They're mainly from the 1930s. It was that Art Deco period of time. Very popular. But also, when you look behind a radio and you look at the internal works on a piano radio from the inside, and you see chrome plated, that's traditionally a Scott radio. And they go for, again, huge money also. Scott's another good name. We're just throwing some names out there. Easiest way, folks, to know what your radio is worth, send us a photo.
Send us a photo to consign@donleyauctions.com, DONLEY, auctions with an S.com. Send us some photos and tell us where you're located, and we will definitely get back to you.
Last thing on radios. Last thing about radios.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Microphones.
Microphones.
Oh my God, microphones. Yes.
Vintage microphones. Maybe the WLS radio station has some that they want to put in auction. We'll have to find out.
You just never know.
You never know.
WLS, our sponsor, host here, AM 890 WLS. Always looking for microphones,
Yes,
Mike.
some of the early stuff, those will go for thousands of dollars too.
And again, it's not stuff that people remember growing up. It's things that they like pertain to their career now. You know, I think the person who bought that phonograph lamp is looking to put it in his speakeasy in Tennessee.
Wow.
Some of the barbershop items to the barbers in Italy, you know, so a lot of it pertains to your careers as well.
Yeah, the decorating their shops and their lobbies and
Yeah.
offices and so on. So,
I would love to have a microphone.
Yep. Okay, well, let's
We'll see.
put the word out there, folks. We're looking for a microphone collection.
Give us a call. 815-923-7000. Do not forget the WLS AM 890 Donley Auctions Hour is every Saturday at 7 p.m.
And if you have a collection, we'll put you on as a guest. We'd like to talk to you about how you acquired your microphone collection.
Well, I'd also like to find out, what do you want us to talk about? Are there certain collections that you'd like us to bring up on the radio? I'll do some research and we'll talk about it on the next show. In the meantime, don't forget to tune in with us every Saturday at 7 p.m. We'll be talking about some more items coming up in future auctions. Check and see what you have at your house. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour right here on WLS AM 890. We are talking about items we're looking for upcoming auctions that you might have in your home, your garage, your basement, your friend's garage, who knows. But right now, Mike, I think we want to touch a little bit about firearms and military because our next auction is September 20th and 21st. We're doing firearms on Saturday and military relics on Sunday. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think it's up online already, isn't it?
It's online, yes.
So you can go to DonleyAuctions.com and see it. Our gun auctions generally, we sell the gamut, anywhere from early flintlock all the way up to the more modern firearms. So anything that you have in firearms, we'll be happy to sell for you. A lot of times your husband has passed away or you're getting ready to retire and want to downsize your collection. We're the people to sell your gun through. We are a federally licensed firearms dealer here. So we can do it legally for you, do all the paperwork for you.
Yeah, we report it to the ATF, so everything is...
Couldn't be an easier process.
It's so easy.
We'll even come out and pick up the guns from your residence. So you don't have to do anything. Just give us a call, let us know what you have, or even if it's farther down the line. A lot of people say, you know, the next month or 2 months I'm going to be selling. Would you be able to come and get it then?
That's
or
right.
Whatever? Yeah.
Well, we do, 4 to 5 firearm military auctions a year. So every 3 months or so we're doing one. If you're not ready yet, just give us a call anyway, because that's the first step. You got to make a phone call, right? 815-923-7000, or just email us when you're ready. That gets the ball rolling. We will send your email over to our firearms expert who can ask you all of those pertinent questions. What do you have? Where are they located? How much do you have? That sort of thing.
And we're talking mainly to Illinois residents. I know WLS goes all over, but this here is especially for Illinois residents because some of the firearms we sell have now been banned in Illinois here. So you're not supposed to own them unless you register them, and you have to pay a tax on them every year. And a lot of people don't want to do that. So we sell those. We sell those out of state. So we're able to get you money for them, and relieve you from any illegality that you may be facing with holding onto these weapons. So give us a call. We'll tell you what you have and what we think we can get for it too. Again, we're always happy to give you free appraisals on this. This includes ammunition. A lot of guys have tons, and I mean literally tons.
Yeah, they do. We get a lot of ammunition with firearms
here.
For sure.
And
any gun accessories. We get a lot of scopes and parts and pieces and cleaning kits,
reloading equipment, anything, the whole gamut. And then also going over to the military items. We do it from all wars, Civil War on up to the modern wars. Anything, uniforms, helmets, daggers, medals, photographs, anything from the wars, anything military, vehicles. We've done Jeeps. We've done.
Oh yeah, we've had
We've
Jeeps
done
airplanes,
tanks. We've done
tanks. Yeah.
we've done
I
everything
know you're
here.
quite the history buff. Do you have a favorite item that we've ever sold at a military auction? I know there's a lot of them.
Oh,
Put you on the spot, but we were just talking about it the other day. The piece of material that came off the couch and
the armors were
bunker.
Hitler's
That
head
was
laid
always-
after he
that
blew
was
his
a good
brains
one.
out. I mean,
We're talking about that at the wedding.
we have sold everything here. And talking about military items, a lot of times your father has passed and he has military items from the war, or second generation. Maybe it was your grandparents and you no longer care to have these items, or you just don't relate to them at all. Turn them into cash. We have buyers all over the world that collect military souvenirs. It's one of the hottest things still is World War II items. So if you have any of these things, if your father or grandfather or great-grandfather was a pilot, you would be surprised what things bring from guys who were B-17 pilots and such, fighter pilots.
Yeah, you already have the provenance by being the family members.
It means so much
right there.
It means so much. Guys who collect like the story as much as they like the item. The story means everything, because with the military record, for instance, if your father was a fighter pilot, they can look his record up and see every mission he flew. I mean, it's amazing the information that's out there and being released at this time now. A lot of those planes even had gun cameras on them, so as they were firing their guns, it was taking film. I mean, there's so much you can investigate now.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's on the internet, that's for sure. But also, you got to give us a call at 815-923-7000. Mike and Randy here know so much about military, as well as John, one of our military experts that's on staff with us. And they'll be able to tell you instantly what you have, whether it's real or not.
Yep.
Pretty much from the photos and how much it's worth. So again, like we always keep saying, we want to get you the most money we can, and getting it into an auction is the way to do it. Give us a call.
Other things we're looking for right now is cameras and photography, early photography.
Okay.
I mean, because now everything's digital. And someday somebody will start collecting digital cameras.
True,
Maybe they have already. I don't know. But we're talking about the early film cameras. And when it comes to film, the earlier the better. I mean, some of the later stuff, 35 millimeter, there are some names in there like Leica and Hasselblad and some of the more expensive brands that are collectible. But for the most part, Canon and Yamaha and Yashica, some of those, there's just too many of them around. But when we talk about photography, we're always looking for early stuff, very early plate cameras before there was actually a roll film where they had to put a wet plate in the camera. Those can bring a lot of money. Early images, talking about daguerreotypes and ambrotypes and tintypes, depending on the subject matter. I mean, I know of a guy who, for a half plate daguerreotype of a fisherman, he got $60,000 for that image. He had bought it at a flea market. I saw him that morning at Kane County Flea Market. I'll never forget. He ran up to me. He says, "Mike, what do you think of this?" He says, "I just bought this." And it was a half-plate daguerreotype of a fisherman standing there with all his gear. I said, "Hey, that's pretty cool." I said, "What did he get for it?"
Wait, you said he got how much for it?
Well, he paid $3,000 for it. And I said, "Well," I said, "you paid up for it." And he put it on eBay, of all places, which is basically an auction.
Yeah.
And he got $60,000 for it.
My
The guy had sold it for $3,000 at the flea market, probably thinking he got all the money in the world for it. If you got some early images, early photography, even stereo views. The stereo views you look through, it was very popular from the 1860s up until the turn of the century, early 1900s, where you look through a handheld viewer at a card that looked like it had two images on it, and when you focused on it, it would come into 3D, kind of like the Magic Eye posters and stuff of today.
those.
So some of the stuff in stereo views can be very, very
And
expensive.
the mutoscopes too, because those are coin operated.
Yeah.
We've sold many of those in the past.
Yeah, with the flip cards.
With the flip cards inside
gives you
there.
the illusion of motion. So other things we're looking for, brewery and neons, Breweriana. I mean, Breweriana still brings great money. Some of those signs from the 60s and 70s and stuff, they
more vintage.
Yeah.
The big Schlitz signs and
we've done very well with
Labatt's.
that. I mean, Some woman had called us. Her husband's collection was all up in an attic. We had to go way out to the south side for that. And it's just, if you have any of those early ham signs too, the motion, what they're called the motion signs, where it looks like the lakes are shimmering. Those motion signs, those will usually start at about $1,000 and go up from there. And they were all from the '60s. So again, '60s and '70s. I say that like it was yesterday, but that's still 40, 50,
time ago, yeah.
40, 50, 60 years ago already. So that's horrible to think.
We'll have some Breweriana and more neons coming up in our October Fall Classic, October 23rd through the 25th. I'm putting those on Thursday, I think, the 23rd.
So,
but if you have anything else you want to get into that auction, definitely you have to give us a call now at 815-923-7000 because literally the auction is right around the corner.
Just snap a picture
it's
of it
a month away
with
already.
Your phone and send it in. I mean, geez, we can tell you immediately if it has any value.
Yeah.
When a relative passes away or you're moving and you have to get rid of a lifetime accumulation, I mean, it looks like a daunting task. But just snap some general pictures and send them to us. I mean, the amount of money things go for today is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, we'll constantly go in and we'll pick something up and say, well, want to get rid of this. Well, yeah, I was going to throw it away. I mean, and it'll bring hundreds, if not thousands of dollars.
See dollar signs on everything.
Randy was walking out of a lady's basement not so long ago, and there was an oil can sitting on the stairwell, a little quart oil can.
I saw that.
Real thin ones and things. And he said, well, what about this? She goes, well, that doesn't have any value. And I think that brought like $1,200 for this oil can. I mean, the craziest things will bring the most money. Everybody looks at things sometimes and say, oh, I know what that's worth. And they don't. I mean, sometimes we don't even know.
We don't even know.
That is the beauty of the auction.
Yeah, thousands of people fighting over it.
Really, if they want, if two people want something, they'll pay more than it's worth sometimes.
That's right.
Just because they want it.
And that's what I love about Mike and Randy. You guys have been doing this for so long. You can literally walk into a room and scan the whole room and know immediately that's valuable, that's valuable. You can also look at photographs, same way, and zoom in and go, look at that, behind that thing. I need that. That I need.
Yeah, that happens so often. We'll see something in the background of a picture.
Underneath a table somewhere.
But there again, the people have no preconception of that item being valuable in the background. They're focused on something else when the real money is in the little trinkets and what they consider junk laying around.
You guys are really good at that.
So if you're wondering where Randy went, he had a hot collection come in, so he had to step away.
Got to go when the...
He had to step away from the microphone for a while, but he should join us before this is over. But that's how it happens. All day long, stuff's coming in here.
Yeah, well, we wanted to talk about our September auction, which we just did. That's firearms and military, September 20 and 21. Then we go right into our Fall Classic, October 23rd through 25th. So that one we're going to work with the Chicagoland Coin Op show in Grays Lake, and then we schedule an auction around the show.
That's arguably our biggest auction of the year.
I'd have to say it is.
Yeah. And it's everything. We have cars in there, slot machines, jukeboxes, again, anything coin up. We have architecture in there.
Well, how about the collection that came in from Galena?
Oh, that's some beautiful stuff.
Now, I don't know what kind of shop that was, but they sure had an eye for fantastic advertising, toys, signage, everything you can think of.
Yeah, it was
in that collection.
It was one of those shops you walk into, and usually you go into antique stores. One or two items might catch your eye. You didn't know where to look next at this place. I mean, everything was fabulous in there.
Really nice.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on now. That's coming up in our October Fall Classic as well. We'd love to add some more items to it, so give us a call at 815-923-7000. But you can't wait too much longer because I like to get it done and ready online about a month in advance. So we're only a couple weeks out from that.
Yep.
If you can't, that's okay because we're going to be doing another one probably in December or even in January. But don't wait. Give us a call, and we'll tell you what the next steps would be. All right, Randy, welcome back to the studio. You disappeared on us for a few minutes, but I understand a gun collection just walked in the door. Tell us about it.
Oh, it's just so funny because, as you both know, items just keep flooding in the door, thank goodness. And a gentleman just came from a location in Wisconsin with his family's firearms, brought in a really nice selection of hunting weapons. really good high-grade shotguns and a few pistols and everything. But he said, he said to me, "Well, normally I see your brother." And I said, "Normally?" And he said, "I see your brother at gun shows all the time in Wisconsin." So,
Okay.
Mike, it pays off to go to the gun shows.
Oh, I thought he meant Neil. So you've
No.
been at the gun shows too.
Oh, I do-
That's right.
Mike does the Wisconsin gun shows, yeah, more than anybody, yeah.
That's another thing. We're out and about. You'll see us at a lot of different shows. Not only gun shows, but military shows. We do all the military shows in the area.
Don't you have one of those coming up? September?
There's the Civil War show in Chicago. Zirco Promotions is going to be at DuPage County Fairgrounds. That's coming up in September.
What's the date on that?
Show, yeah.
Oh, that's the same day as our gun and military auction,
Yeah.
September 20th and 21st. Go see Mike Donley at the show after you come to our auction.
Or bid online.
Or bid online and then go to the show. Yeah.
There you go.
I think next weekend we'll be up at Sturtevant, Wisconsin, at the gun show up there. There's a big one coming up. That's, I think, the 10th and 11th
September?
of September.
Great.
So
Okay. Oh, as you are probably aware by now, if you've gone to Donley Auctions and visited our website, we have a big slot machine, jukebox, pinball auction coming up in October.
October 23rd through the
Thank you.
25th, our fall classic.
Yes, it is. And while we were in New York, we actually booked a really nice collection in Florida that we'll have to go this weekend or this week to pick up. Have to get that. And just when you think you've seen every slot machine, I have never seen a slot machine called a snake before.
No.
Very, very rare slot machine in this collection coming up. And if you have slot machines out there, let us know. We're looking for slot machines. We're looking for jukeboxes, any arcade machines, really.
didn't mention projection, early movie projectors, not 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter. We're talking about 35
Big
millimeter.
stuff that came out of the theaters.
Yeah, an earlier hand crank. I'm looking for hand crank 35 millimeter.
And Mike, on more than one occasion, you have taken me into theaters to unload or pull out of theaters old electronics equipment, which was made by Western Electric.
Western Electric. They were the first big producer of amplifiers
and sound equipment.
and sound equipment for the theaters.
And boy, some of this stuff, folks, just brings huge money. I was at a location once, and I'm looking at this big, heavy piece of black iron and thinking to myself, oh, that can't go for much money. I called my brother. I said, Mike, do I really have to take this this heavy piece of equipment? And his response to me was, Randy, it'll go for at least $10,000. What do you think? And how much did it end up going for, Mike, at auction?
I think it's right behind us here, $73,600.
$73,000. And I'm telling you, folks, it looked like it was ready for the scrap yard. It was just a piece of black scrap metal, but it was the right black scrap metal to bring 73 grand. And it ended up going overseas.
Yeah, went to Korea.
Wow. Yeah.
It's in a museum there.
So you just don't know. You have to send us photos all the time and get an evaluation from us so we can tell you whether it's going to be good or not. Now, unfortunately, a lot of you out there are going to get the response from us, which is, no, I'm sorry, it really doesn't have any value. That happens way too often, but we say this all the time. You would not throw away a lottery ticket without checking out the numbers, and that's what we're doing for you when we evaluate. Even if we give you bad news, it's just like getting the bad news on a lottery ticket. Very often you're not going to be a winner, but when you are, you can score big. I know we're always looking for early scientific instruments, but early architecture, actually, we're looking for big chandeliers. We mentioned bars and back bars, but even the right pieces of terracotta.
And remnants from buildings. I mean, Chicago was home to some of the great architects of the world. I mean, you had Frank Lloyd Wright here. You had Rapp and Rapp, who were big theater architects here. Elmsley. I mean, there was loads and loads of great architecture here. So when these buildings got torn down, a lot of times people would salvage little mementos off the buildings. I mean, do you remember the time we were in that basement in Riverside and reached up on top of a shelf? We were
Oh my goodness!
cleaning the place out, and
I remember that.
I felt something up there, and I pulled it down, and it was a light fixture, and it turns out it was one of them out of the Coonley Playhouse dining room. One of
It was a
12
sconce.
Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
little
Oh,
sconce,
my
yeah.
goodness.
And,
Yeah.
and that thing ended up going for, I don't know, like $20,000 or
A
something
lot.
like that.
It sure
I
did.
remember having to hand carry it to the museum that it was going to.
That
it
is
was
correct.
You
Stuff
just never know.
Stuff is all over, and you might not recognize these items, folks, that have value. So we're here for you. We're here to help you evaluate what you have and try to turn it into huge money for you.
And let me remind you again, our phone number, 815-923-7000, or go to our website at donleyauctions.com. And you can send us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. Send us some photos and where you're located, and we'll tell you what to do next.
Now, if you're an attorney out there or work for a law office and are doing estate work where you may have a home that is packed full of collectibles, and I hate to use the word collectibles, but collector items, the type of things that we're talking about, let us know. We can help you, certainly. And I like to point out all the time, municipalities. We get so many phone calls from actual municipalities, cities, and villages and so on, where monuments are being taken out of parks or military pieces, field pieces, be it cannons.
We were just driving past some parks in Pennsylvania, and you said, slow down, there's a cannon out there.
Yes. Simply because nowadays, so many parks and park districts and that are getting rid of these things. All too much of it is going the way of the scrap yard, and we can turn it into a much higher value than scrap. Especially some of these cannons can go anywhere from just a few $1,000s on up to $100,000 for the right cannon. And certainly tanks, World War II tanks, can go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars also.
Yeah, and the insurance companies are telling these municipalities and VFWs and everything they're attractive nuisances because children will play on them, they fall off, they get hurt, and then the places get sued. So they're making them yank them all out.
We'll take them.
So we can help you turn these park treasures into money to help the coffers and pay the bills around the city.
And also, we've done a lot of work with museums too. We've done work with museums across the country where things have been donated to them and they don't fall into the scope of what their museum is. Well, they have to dispose of these items. Well, we'll be happy to auction them for the museums. We've worked with a lot of museums. We have references for that to help you again dispose of these items and use the money for other things at the museum that you need.
And most museum charters, when they're deaccessioning, actually say that the items have to be auctioned off.
Correct.
So that it can't be like a sweetheart deal being sold to somebody's friend in the back room or something. So again, we can do all the auction process and help you out.
And very discreet too. It doesn't have, nobody has to know what museum it was coming from or whatever.
I want to jump to a completely different topic because I noticed we don't have any gas pumps coming up in our October auction. So I think Petroliana is a big, well, that's because we keep selling them all. So we're looking for some more gas pumps and Petroliana related signs, advertising. What else do you think we might need for October?
Well, automobiles and signs, big, huge porcelain signs that used to be in front of gas stations, the big old Pure Oil or Standard Oil signs and everything. The bigger, the better, folks, and they bring good money. We can do all the hauling for you, transportation. Doesn't matter what city you're in.
What kind of gas pumps are we looking for?
I would say any and all gas pumps, Susan, because even the more modern ones from the 50s and 60s are still bringing money.
Yeah, we see them in people's yards sometimes.
Well,
it's decorations. Hey, they need to put that in an auction.
And if you got a muscle car, you don't want a 1920s gas pump sitting
right,
next to it. You want it from the 60s.
Vintage,
right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good point, Mike.
Good point. So, gas pumps for sure.
Racing memorabilia, always.
Okay.
You know, we've got a few people that we're working with who are actually professional race car drivers, and we
Yes,
are
they are.
staging a racing auction right now. So any racing memorabilia that you might have, be it outfits, helmets, trophies, cars, signs, anything having to do with racing.
Yeah, Chicago had a lot of great tracks in this days too. You know, Santa Fe and what was the one up in Carpentersville? I forget. The Meadowdale was there.
Yeah.
You know, they even raced at Soldier Field. They had big stock car races there and everything. So Chicago
And
had a lot of
Indy's
tracks.
not that far away.
Right.
We pull an awful lot of stuff out of Indiana.
Susan, you want to talk about our help situation? We're expanding
Well,
and we need more help.
Speaking of multiple auctions and doing things once a month, we're starting to do auctions more than once a month. Therefore, we need more help. We're looking for some great employees to add to our already wonderful staff. Specifically, let me tell you what we're looking for. People who have the talent to research, identify, and describe our merchandise.
Yeah, if you're a specialist in any one field, be it firearms, military relics, slot machines, jukeboxes,
Advertising, cars, jewelry, anything
sports
like that.
memorabilia,
Yeah.
toys, you name it. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a full-time position. They can just when we have those type of items, work those hours
Yeah, on
to
a case
describe.
by case and set your own hours. We're pretty much here 7 days a week. A few of us are anyway, because we love our job so much. But I think if we did find somebody who would be willing to give us a few hours of their time, I am willing to work with your schedule.
And also, I'd like you to go to Donley Auctions and our website and look at our real estate section, because we do so much in real estate. It's called the Donley Group. It's our real estate division. My daughter, Shauna Donley, heads it up, and she's available to help you sell your home. We get into so many locations where we're helping them with the collections, only to find out they have no idea how or where and how to go about selling their home. We can do it all for you, and not necessarily at auction, but Shauna gets way over asking prices repeatedly for estates.
And it's not just the Chicagoland area, correct? She
That is
sells
correct.
in other states as well.
That is correct.
We're
Right.
kind of a one-stop shop. We are looking for some help in our shipping department. As you know, a lot of these items have to get to the new owners. They're bidding with us from all over the world. How do you get it to them? We ship a lot of the smaller standardized items, and a lot of the big things go through transporters. I would love to add to our team. If you are detail-oriented, a team player, and you want to work in a fast-paced environment, this would be a good fit for you. So give us a call at 815-923-7000, and I'll let you know where to send your application. So that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Donley Auctions Hour on WLS 890 AM.
Thanks for listening this week. We hope you join us again next Saturday evening, somewhere around 5, 6, or 7, depending on when they have an opening for us.
So for now,
I'm Mike.
I'm Susan,
and I'm Randy Donley,
and we'll see you at the auction.